Good morning, everyone. This is my week 3 and 4 homework assignment, arrays and methods. Let's just jump right in. First question asks us to take the value of the first element in the array and subtract it from the value in the last element. So here's my formula for that, 93 minus 3, and that will get me a total of 90.0. 1B asks us to add an age to that array and repeat the same step to see if it's dynamic. So what I did is I added 47 to the end and subtracted that by 3, and that got me to my total of 44. One C asked us to do a loop to iterate the array and calculate the average A. I took the value from 1A. I'll show you why later. So here's the formula for that. And then when I run that, the average age is going to be 28.75. On to 2A. That asks us to create an array and calculate the average letters of per name. So here's our array, and then here's my formula for that. And running that got me a total average of 3 per name. 2B asks us to use the loop to iterate through the array again and concatenate all the names together, separated by spaces. This is the formula for that, and that was the result. 3 asks us to access the last element of any array. This is just like 1A and 1B. We did that to get a total of array minus array dot length minus 1. And 4, how do you calculate the first element of any array? And that would be array 0. 5 asks us to create a new array based on the names from 2A and write a loop to iterate over the previously created names in an array and add the length of them. Here's the formula for it. I didn't print because it didn't ask me to print. However, it asked to write a loop to iterate over the names, lengths, array, and calculate the sum of all the elements in the array. And I was able to do that. And the total is 23. 7 is where we go into our methods. That asks us to write a method that takes a string, word, and an int as arguments and returns the word concatenated to itself n number of times. So this is my string and this is my int. And we did that 3 times. And as you could see, here it is. And our result is hello. Number 8 asked us to write a method that takes 2 strings, first name and last name, and returns a full name. Here's the formula for that and our results. Number 9 asks us to write a method that takes an array of ints and returns true if the sum of all the ints in the array is greater than 100. And that's what we did for, we used these numbers over here, which of course you know is over 100 based on one of them being 93. So we ran that, and these were the numbers from 1B, and here is how we did that, and our total was true. Number 10 then asks us to calculate the averages, the average of that. The average age based on 1B was 30.778. Number 11, we kind of had to do something on our own. It takes write a method that takes 2 arrays of double and returns true if the average of the elements in the first array is greater than the average in the second. What I did is I took 2 baseball players who started at the same year, and I calculated how many home runs they've hit over their first 5 years of their career. It was Juan Soto versus Ronald Acuna, and based on these numbers, Acuna has less home runs than Juan Soto, so 11 turns out to be true. Number 12 asks us to write a method called will buy drink that takes a boolean is out hot outside and double money in pocket and true if it is hot. And this is how we calculated that. And this ran true. I'm going to show you how it would run false because we're looking at 1050. Let me run this again. And as you can see, since 10 is less than 1050, it turns out false. And then for the last one, it asks you to create a method. It lets you create a method of your own that solves a problem, and comments write that what the method does and why you created it. This is a real situation for me with work. I have one person that I have to monitor their overtime. So I calculated their average overtime over a 6-week period, and we were looking to see if they could work more overtime. And these were our two straight statements that we were trying to figure out. If he goes over 20 hours, he has to stop working. If he works less than 20 hours, he can work more overtime. Since these averaged a little bit less than 20, it says you can work more overtime. And thank you for paying attention. We'll talk to you soon.